because I got dinged for it by Josh after the fact, I have to bring up horror movies to you now. I know you're a horror movie Evil Dead guy, so I got to hear your thoughts there.
Well, okay, so first of all, you know what my favorite movie I've just seen is?
Oh, tell us.
Willy's Wonderland.
Oh, I don't think I heard of it.
Okay, basically, it's the story. It's first of all, it's my personal opinion. I call it the batshit trilogy, which is Nicolas Cage has done 3 completely insane films in the last few years. He did Mandy, he did The Color Out of Space, and Willy's Wonderland.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah, so, I saw Mandy, and I have A Color Out of Space. I'm gonna watch. I'll have to watch all 3 of your trilogy.
So Mandy is basically a rape revenge film, but it's done by a high art director. Panos Cosmatos, his dad actually directed Cobra, starring Stallone.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know movies. If you want to talk movies, I know movies.
Shit. Cobra,
not good movies. Not like I don't know about Titanic, but if you want to talk about the sort of stuff you'd see on USA Up All Night,
yeah,
hell yes.
So Mandy, so this trilogy is also kind of like the 3 straight to video grindhouse B movies, whatever you want to call them, because you have the rape revenge film, but it's done by a high art director. You have a cosmic horror story based on an H.P. Lovecraft book, directed by Richard Stanley, who, if you don't know who that is, look him up. He was the original director for The Isle of Dr. Moreau, and he's a complete nut. There's a great documentary about it. Like this guy,
yeah.
He got fired off the movie and decided to get hired as an extra, and he wandered around the set in full makeup, high on ecstasy.
Kidding.
Well,
yeah,
that's really the mature way to handle it.
Well, so Willy's Wonderland, I highly recommend looking up the trailer. But Nicolas Cage, he utters no dialogue in the film. He does not speak. He plays a man who blows a tire driving through a small town, is not able to pay the bill because there's no ATM and there's no internet connection, so he doesn't have any cash. So he's got to, they're like, well, here's what we'll do. Go to this place called Willy's Wonderland, which is like a Chuck E. Cheese type place. Clean it overnight, and this guy will cover the bill for your car.
Oh, no.
Problem is the robots in there are alive and out to kill.
Oh my God.
I will tell you no more about this movie, but I will say, just so you understand this, Lloyd Kaufman, who's actually a friend of mine.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, yeah. My brother, if you've ever been to San Diego Comic Con over the last 10 years, my brother's one of the guys that runs the booth for Trauma.
Cool.
But Lloyd Kaufman has a little part in his book, Make Your Own Damn Movie, available now from all fine book retailers, where he mentions that specifically Con Air is a terrible movie because there's no tension. Because at no point in the film do you believe that Nicolas Cage's characters can die.
Right.
You know, no matter what happens, he's going to live.
Yeah.
Willy's Wonderland is the first movie I've watched in a long time where I was not sure, and I'm not going to spoil whether he lives or dies. I'll simply say I really wasn't sure which way it was going to go because they built the movie so well with everything they did with him and the other characters that when push comes to shove, there are more than a few moments where you're like, he could die right here at 23 minutes, and they could have just gotten him in the trailer to get people in, and it would not ruin the movie. It would still make perfect sense.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly my experience with Mandy, was that it was a movie where I was never sure there were a lot of outcomes that would make sense based on what they had done.
Oh, yeah.
So this sounds like it's like Mandy meets From Dusk Till Dawn or something.
Oh yeah, no, it was actually I'm really a fan of it. Same thing with even with Evil Dead movies.
Oh yeah.
Part of what made them so enjoyable was the first one. The real joy is you don't know Ash is going to survive.
Yeah.
Well, survive, big quotation marks. But in the same way with Evil Dead 2, the sheer insanity of who else is going to get out of this house, and it turns out to be nobody. Hopefully that's not a spoiler for a 35-year-old movie.
Yeah, no.
But in a lot of ways, I think the doubt is what, another one I'm a big fan of is Summer of '84, which was made, same people that did Turbo Kid.
Oh, I like Turbo Kid. Yeah.
I love Turbo Kid.
So this movie is like a combination of The Goonies and Rear Window.
Holy shit.
So these kids get convinced that their neighbor, who's a cop, is killing people, missing children in the area.
God.
It's set in 1984, obviously, because of the title. And the film is relatively light for the first hour, hour and 10 minutes. The last 30 minutes is like someone grabbed you by the head, bent you all the way back, and just starts punching you in the sternum as hard as they can over and over.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
tense, horrific, and it has the most disturbing villain monologue, like gut-wrenching.
I have
Like,
to see this.
oh no, it's a great. And again, you'll watch most of the movie and be like, oh, this is fine. I remember that. Oh, I remember that sort of thing. And then you'll go, what the fuck?
Oh,
You
God.
don't get to
Oh
do
my God.
that at the 70-minute mark. No, that's not fair.
Well, that's something that is like in horror movies, it really that kind of patience pays off in the way that I think it does, like with the kind of wrestling that Bloodsport is about.
Oh, yeah.
Is
You have to
like
bet.
the ability to go in so deep that you can be sure they are completely secure about what the movie is, and
Oh, yeah.
then to do that audition style turn.
Oh yeah, and even and Mike his whole deal has always been just trying to make whatever he can to 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you ever see The Happiness of the Katakuris.
I don't think so.
He did a musical.
All right.
Takashi Miike, the guy who did Audition and Ichi the Killer, did a musical called Happiness of the Katakuris. He also did a children's film called The Great Yokai War.
Oh my. The
Wait,
Danny Boyle of Japan.
Oh, he did one. One of my favorites of his. It was an early film called The Way to Fight. And the opening is the biggest pro wrestling star in Japan is going to fight in a Vale Tudo match, the biggest boxing star. And the rest of the movie is a flashback because apparently in high school they were respectively the two biggest punks at their schools. And the whole thing is that they wanted to fight each other and they just literally just keep missing each other. And the climax of the film is supposed to be this: they're finally going to have this fight. All these people show up, and a big brawl breaks out in the audience, and they never get to touch. So the actual end of the movie is them finally having their fight like 20 years later.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That's
boy.
hilarious.
That's great.
Oh, but there's one more I want to mention just because I love horror movies, and this is a good one to talk
of
about.
course.
The Void.
I don't think I know that one either.
Okay, so The Void is the only horror film I've seen in I don't know how long. There are 0 jump scares.
Goodness.
None.
It's just
No jump
constant
scares.
Suspense.
Every time there's a scare, it's always done through suspense. It's like one of the early scenes, because it's set in a hospital, and basically one of the early scenes, a cop goes to check in on somebody he brought in. And the nurse is standing there cutting her face with a scalpel repeatedly. And she just keeps saying, this isn't my face. This isn't my face. Starts pulling the skin off.
Oh,
Goodness.
So this whole, and again, it's not like she turns around and you see the face. You see her doing it right away.
oh my
And
God.
it's the tension of he's trying to talk her down. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know,
Yeah.
but he knows this woman is hurting herself and she's going to come towards him with the blade and he has a choice to make.
Oh my God.
So, but the whole movie, they rely no jump scares, all practical effects.
I love
And moreover, they actually also did, what was it? They don't give you more information, they give the characters, which is something I really appreciate.
I like that too.
I hate, yeah, you feel more invested because you feel like you understand their
figure it
worry because
out.
they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the horror films now, they have to take you by the hand
I know.
and be like, oh, see, this is what's really going on. No, I want that tension. I want that not necessarily fear, but that lack of reassurance. I don't know everything's going to be okay. I don't know everyone's going to survive.
Yeah.
A lot of people might die.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And that's the real horror is that experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk these days about people not wanting a movie to contain characters making bad choices and then like suffering the consequences of that like they want this smooth ride that doesn't include like moments of confusion or moments of like it certainly seems antithetical.
I think there is a desire by people to be comforted by what they're viewing.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people do look to media for comfort, and
for sure.
sometimes they want that comfort to be very much everything's going to be okay. They want to be reassured everything's going to be fine.
Right.
And unfortunately, horror works at its best going the opposite direction, where you're not sure
Yeah.
everything's going to be fine. You're not sure everyone's going to be okay. I mean, if you want comfort, there are plenty of movies that do it. I mean, I would have personally enjoyed Endgame a lot more if it had ended the way I said, which is everyone gets destroyed, and when it looks like there's really no hope, one final portal opens, and out drops Deadpool, not to fight, but to introduce Squirrel Girl, who proceeds to just murder Thanos, which is canon. She did that in the comic. So that, but like that, I would have lost my. No one else would have cared, but I would have been so comforted if they're like, you know what, they put Squirrel Girl in this on the down low, told no one, and just had her be the ultimate Deus Ex Machina, just came out of nowhere and just ruled.
Well, I think it would have been like it might have been a better thing to do to have the entire thing be turning on Thanos' desire to impress a girl, because wouldn't that have...
in the original comic, yeah, he was trying to impress Death.
And like it seems like that would have like given us the most useful message we could have right now.
Thanos, the
and that would have also justified the Deadpool reference at the end with Squirrel Girl, because Deadpool also is enamored with Death. So if you have Thanos into Death, and then you have Deadpool basically being like, okay, I'm gonna bring Squirrel Girl here to kick your ass, so I have Death all to myself.
Okay, so we shoot our own fan version. Lloyd Kaufman directs.
There we go.
Only it's all Legos.
We also, I know it's controversial right now, but I will put in my 4 Punishers scene.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is I know it's controversial to use them now because people are terrible, but I would love it if they could, in that the next Spider-Man movie, I just want them to have to call in the 4 Punishers: Dolph Lundgren, Thomas Jane, whoever the guy was in Warzone, Ray Stevenson, that's who it was, and John Bernthal, and just one scene where they just all 4 Punishers unleash on somebody. You don't have to do anything else. Just give me my 4 Punishers.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be like one of those periodic Doctor Who reunions.
Exactly.
No, it's into the Punisherverse. We already have precedent for it.
Oh yeah,
I used to give shit to the Punisher just because he was one of my favorites when I was a kid. But I did think at one point he's a little petty. Just he's taking out like street criminals and mobsters. So it's like, dude, you know demons and aliens exist. Like you've worked with the X-Men, you've worked with Spider-Man, you've worked with like the Ghost Rider. Like you know this shit's real, and you're just like, Kingpin's gotta pay.
Yeah,
dealing with these petty criminals.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the mob beat up a laundromat owner who got in the way of their numbers racket. I think I really got to deal with that.
You can't say he doesn't know his place. He's not like trying to solve big problems, but at the same time, there's that part of me where it's like, how do you meet Thor and then go back to being like, okay, let's take care of this coke dealer.
Seriously.
It's very much like that Onion article where all the characters psychologically struggle with the awareness that Santa Claus is for real, and all of the stuff like underpinning like the one night in which he does everything is also real, and they're just like, I can't deal with our little hijinks anymore. Like, oh my god.
Well, if you really break it down, in Marvel, okay, we have Thor and we have Loki and we have Odin, so we know all the Norse gods are real, right?
Yeah.
We also had the son of Satan, so that means hell and Satan are real, which means Jesus Christ and God are real.
Sure.
But we also have Khonshu because Moon Knight is real. And he's Jewish, so you know Yahweh is real. You have Shang-Chi, so you know Buddha's real. Like, all these gods really exist in Marvel. So do aliens. So do mutants. So like, how is that not blowing someone's mind? How do you just go to work when you know that?
That is so true. You know, side note, I've been playing The Simpsons Tapped Out for at least 10 years now.
That's impressive.
And thank you. And I have all the characters. I have all the stuff because at this point, I'm what's considered, well, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Point is, it's very easy for me to get all the characters and stuff. And plus, I've been doing it for too long.
Teresa is just bragging that she's Simpsons tapped out rich. It's not,
I am.
it's not
Mega
attractive
wealth over
quality.
And you know what? At least it's not Fortnite, which I don't understand.
Well, in that world, in the Simpsons world, there's also Yahweh, God, Jesus, several devils, many different variations, like Buddha, like they all exist in the Simpsons world also. So that's, I don't know, somehow maybe all that is real too. If it's real in the Simpsons and they're so good at predicting things.
Maybe South Park did have it right that something being imagined in fact makes it real because your faith in it is what gives it life.
Well, that was certainly what New Nightmare told us.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what New Age thought teaches us as well?
So this is a fun. I know I'm completely just running your time up like nobody's business. That's what I do.
Oh no, we're more concerned
Let me
about
tell
your
you
time.
a fun fact about me. I really want to wrestle David Arquette.
Oh.
And let me tell you why. I attended Santa Rosa High School in Santa Rosa, California.
Okay.
If you ever watch the credits for the movie Scream, the very last thing it says is absolutely no thanks to Santa Rosa City High School and the Santa Rosa City School Board. And the reason is my high school was the original set for Scream.
Is that right?
Really?
And yeah, it was actually used in Peggy Sue Got Married, the Nicolas Cage and Kathleen Turner movie.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So at the last minute, when the school board found out that it was a horror film, they pulled their support for it, and they had to find a different school to film at.
That's crazy.
So being petty, Wes Craven put that in the credits. And I maintain when David Arquette started wrestling, I said, especially now they're apparently doing another Scream movie, give me versus Arquette for the right over that slight at my high school, because I will absolutely, I don't care about my high school reunion. I care about nothing else, but let me do that. I was in school when that happened. 1996 to 2000. So that absolutely is on my watch.
So will you be facing David Arquette in the Bloodsport?
If I could get him at Bloodsport in Tampa, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would absolutely, for the honor of Santa Rosa High School. He can do it for the honor of Wes Craven. I'll say I'm a John Carpenter guy anyway, so I don't care.
I mean, if I know anything about David Arquette's pro wrestling, like whether it's smart or not, he'll do it.
Yeah.
Wrestling me's rarely smart. I think most people will tell you that.
This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much for doing this.
I make up for my technical difficulties by being I promise.
This has been so great. You're such an incredible personality, a wonderful person to chat with, and we're so excited about all the different things that you have coming up, including.
Yeah, give us all your shit. What do you? Well,
you can. What do I do, or where am I at?
Where are you at? What do you do?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Devious Journey. This is actually a wordplay joke because devious also means a long or roundabout way, which is how I kind of look at my career. I go the long and roundabout way. I never go direct. And then I'm still at Gotcha WWE on Instagram, because Instagram will not let you change your handle if you're verified.
It's true.
So I've tried for almost 4 years now, and they just won't. They even on their email you can request it at tell you they probably won't see your email. That's not a good sign when they're admitting that. I'm also at Pro Wrestling Tees, which Pro Wrestling Tees /Simon Says. All my wonderful designs from various artists like John David Guerra of Nightmare Pro Wrestling and Redneck Kung Fu, who's Australia's greatest son. She is. No one's ever seen her face. A lot of people don't know she's a her because her name's Alex. So it's a lot of people just assume your name's Alex and you like pro wrestling. You must be a guy. And she's
right.
Well, maybe she's Sia.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not if I found that out. Oh yeah. She actually liked drawing my shirt because I had her do it, like basically draw me as the cover for the movie Hands of Steel, which if you've never seen is brilliant. It's about cyborg arm wrestling in the future. The future of 1997.
It's coming.
It's on the list.
Oh, yeah. But that's actually where that's where the whole arm wrestling bit from Turbo Kid came from, was Hands of Steel.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, and just when you watch the film, because again, I always have to have these asides. I'm terrible about it. There's a bit of fight choreography where the main character throws a punch and then a spinning back fist. But the problem is the stuntman falls after the punch and he just throws a spinning back fist at the air. For no reason other than, and they left it in. They could have cut it. Punch, spinning back fist to the air.
That was the best one.
I was Apple for Halloween. I had to make that costume from scratch. I fucking love that movie.
It's a great movie.
It's
they also have Psycho Gorman. That's another one they did.
I've been hearing about this all over the place.
Wait, that's I haven't seen it personally, but it's a movie after my own heart.
It sounds very compelling. Anytime you get to watch Michael Ironside, also incidentally, you got to take that.
Have we ever seen Michael Ironside and who's the other one? Powers Booth. Have you ever seen Michael Ironside and Powers Booth in the same place?
I seriously thought not just Michael Ironside, Powers Booth, Stacy Keach.
That's another one. Without the mustache, you have to, yeah.
But like
actually, here's a good one. Stacy Keach and Tom Atkins.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now the one I really, Michael Rooker and an actual serial killer. That's the other one. Yeah.
Good.
And Michael Rappaport.
Oh, Michael Rappaport is the blackest white man in human history. That is the guy.
Right.
Oh man.
That is the guy when a black person says they hate all white people, they're like, except Michael Rappaport. That's what always comes next.
Yeah, I can see that.
He is the straight white man that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, like you've given us an awful lot of movies to watch.
Sorry. Do we have you to look forward to, or can we look forward to seeing you in Bloodsport 6? Is that announced?
I haven't been announced yet. I would imagine I'm on it. Basically because I live in Orlando, so I mean, I'm a 90-minute drive from Tampa.
So you can just go down there spontaneously and do the job as an extra.
You can't. I mean, anyone else they want to bring in, they've got to fly. Me, I'm just there. So it's never underestimate being frugal in pro wrestling.
I believe that.
Just bring your gear and wait for somebody to drop out.
It's gonna happen.
It happens.
And like what other stuff like do you have in the books for wrestling stuff?
Pardon?
Oh, and where else are you wrestling in the coming future?
Well, I'm still I'm no longer contracted to MLW, but I still have a couple more episodes in the can that are looking to air. So anywhere you find MLW, you should see me on there for a few more episodes. Nice. I have not officially ceased working with them. I'm no longer under contract. all I'm thinking about now is the the Key and Peele bit. The guy's dressed as Michael Jackson for Halloween. He goes off on him about everyone dressed like him 3 years ago when he died. Guy starts crying and he takes off the glasses and just goes, "He died?" Again, perfect setup and payoff. Like that's the whole, whether it's comedy, horror, action, wrestling, setup and payoff. Side
note, there's so many side notes to this interview, but side note.
We're gonna need a whole just appendix.
Did you see the Gremlins 2 Key and Peele sketch? That's like my all-time favorite.
Wait, you're gonna have to go over this one. I do not remember this.
Okay, so it's like the pitch meeting of Gremlins 2. And then they're like, okay, so the first franchise is great, so we're just gonna, just recreate what we did for this next one. And then Jordan comes in as like some over-the-top creative, and he's like, oh, excuse me, we're talking about G-Deuce or whatever, it doesn't matter. It is one of the funniest sketches of all time because when you think about Gremlins 2 and how ridiculous all the Gremlins are and all the different characters, he's like, everybody gets to design their own gremlin. So you get a gremlin and you get a gremlin. And so someone's like, well, some made out of vegetables. It's going in the movie. The guy who's running the meeting is.
Now this is sounding familiar.
Oh my God. I love it. I could watch it every day.
It's a good, and Gremlins 2 legitimately is an insane film, but they took what they were told they couldn't, that movie created PG-13 was Gremlins.
Yeah, it was them. I think it was Temple of Doom was
yeah. They both, because it was like 84 and I think it was they both came out in 84, and they both were rated PG, and everyone expected family-friendly entertainment and got horrified. And they actually had to create the PG-13 classification, so people knew that.
Yeah, it's so weird, like to realize that a lot of stuff got lumped into PG before that, because you'll watch a movie that was originally rated PG, and then there'll be boobs, and you're like, whoa, I don't understand the landscape we're in anymore.
Oh no, the rating system is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
When Trey Parker and Matt Stone did, I think it was Team America, they were given an NC-17 rating, and they weren't told what they had to take out.
What?
They wouldn't tell them.
The puppet sex. It was probably the puppet sex.
Probably.
It was probably that, but I think what it wound up being was they started cutting one frame out of the puppet sex scene because they had to have their management. They had to have a third party go to the MPAA and find out what it was. They would not tell them directly. The MPAA is a weird organization.
There was a really interesting documentary that had been made about them at one point a little while back. I think it was called "This Movie Will Not Be Rated" or something like that. And they did something really interesting in it, which was, because it was such a secretive body, they were like, you know what we'll do? We're going to hire a private investigator to find out who's on the board. And they did that. It's kind of amazing.
As one should. There's never trust secret boards that make decisions. That's just a rule. Don't trust them. Don't trust secretive people.
Only the stonecutters.
Luchadors. Can't trust them. They always wear masks. Why? What do you want?
Do they have a board? Is there a luchador board?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there is actually. It's all the La Parcas. Every time I blink, there's more La Parcas. I have a La Parca t-shirt. I don't know where it came from.
There. It just got inserted against your wishes, like the U2 album.
Yes. That was so creepy. I did too. I was like, fuck you. I don't want to listen to you, especially now.
No. It's Joshua Tree or nothing. If you could have at least done that. Like, give me the U2 I want. Give me where the streets have no name.
Retired years ago, decades ago.
Oh boy.
This has been so much fun. Thank you again.
Not a problem.
We have a hard time letting go because you, like us, just a bunch of goofs liking to talk.
I am. You have no idea. The things that are out of frame here that you would not believe. You have no idea.
I feel like Bloodsport is deceptively jam-packed with goofballs.
Well, the comparison I always like to make is Kazushi Sakuraba. The guy is a legit badass. He's one of the toughest MMA fighters of all time. He's the Gracie Hunter. And this is a guy who would go out to the ring in pride, ready to fight, to the death, basically, dressed like one of the Road Warriors, just because it made him laugh.
When he came out dressed as fucking Big Super Mario, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's nuts. But again, it's like Tom Lawler's the same way. It's There's a thing with amateur wrestlers. If you ever talk to amateur wrestlers, they'll tell you the guy you see at a tournament who's wearing like the bright pink shoes and has a cotton candy mohawk and is wearing a singlet with like a picture of a friggin' Shiba Inu on it. That's the guy you don't want to mess with.
Oh man,
that is the guy who's so confident that he's gonna kill everyone. It's they make a joke about it kind of on Always Sunny. It's the baby or Clown Baby. You wouldn't think someone named Clown Baby was tough. But if you saw somebody who looked like that was like 6'4" and jacked, you're like, okay, that guy's crazy. That guy He does not care what he looks like, which means what are you going to do? How are you going to hurt a man that is so not afraid of looking silly?
It's the boy named Sue. He's been through every fight there is already. What could you do?
Exactly. If anything, a boy named Sue should have thanked his father.
Yeah.
That song was written by Shel Silverstein, by the way.
Is that right? I don't think I ever heard that.
I didn't know that.
Johnny Cash is a plagiarizer. He never wrote his own music. That is a myth.
Snap.
Well, I knew Shel Silverstein was like a weird guy who had been around more than we realized as kids.
Oh yeah. No, it's like when you find out that Douglas Adams used to write Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah,
You know?
that blew my mind.
God, it's the craziest thing. I've been watching so many old westerns, and the names that you see pop up, but by somebody who cut their teeth at a certain time. Like, yeah, everybody was making westerns, or everybody in England was doing Doctor Who and EastEnders or whatever.
Yeah. Because they're the longest running show. Like I used to do posts for NBC Universal, and one of the shows when I first was doing remastering was a show called Wagon Wheel. It's an old Western, and it's an hour long that they did every week, an hour long Western every week. And just the thought of that, I was like, who the fuck what was Hollywood? What was television? The fact that they could do that every week. It's bananas.
Well, again, put into perspective that shows like Ozzie and Harriet got like 60 million viewers because there was just one of 3 shows that were on.
Right. Yeah.
That was it. Those were your choices. You had 3 channels.
and
you
on
for like forever.
And if one of your 3 channels came in bad,
yeah, they didn't even bother watching them. We underestimate how much of our opinions about television historically have been. I think it's why the technological advancements are so hard on a lot of people, is because so much of their opinions, what they really enjoy, have been based around just what was available.
Absolutely. 100%.
Oh yeah.
It happens with wrestling a lot. People have their opinion on pro wrestling because they've only ever seen WWE. Yeah. I've been tooting the horn for years that the worst match in pro wrestling history is in fact Hogan versus Andre.
Oh my.
See that.
Not just for the quality. The quality isn't just the issue. The issue is that for an entire generation of people, the 35 years following that match, anyone who hates pro wrestling, I guarantee you that's the image they have in their head. 2 lumbering giants who can barely move, slogging through a bunch of hokey punches for way too long.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, that might be right.
They've never seen, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero doing a lucha match for 20 minutes. They've never seen Minoru Suzuki and Hiroshi Tanahashi killing each other. They've never seen Shibata headbutting a guy so badly that he gave himself brain damage. Like they've never seen how crazy pro wrestling can get. They've never seen an exploding ring barbed wire death match.
Oh boy. Upcoming.
I know. I can't wait to see this because I haven't seen one myself, and just the images it conjures is horrifying.
There are 2 types of matches with the exploding barbed wire death match. There's what you call that was a bad idea, and then there's the that was it.
Well, with the people,
it's the former.
With the people involved, I don't think we're going to get a version.
Well, the map that came was actually because they didn't have the explosives fail.
Oh no.
Terry Funk and Cactus Jack in IWA Japan, the final explosion, like when you see the FMW ones with Onita and Hayabusa, Tarzan Goto, those guys, the explosives were much better controlled, but the IWA Japan one, the final explosion failed.
Good.
So you literally see Terry Funk just like and if you really want a fun one, the very first barbed wire match ever held in Japan in 1989 with Onita and Tarzan Goto against Matsunaga, who they call Mr. Danger, who actually has a steakhouse now called Mr. Danger Steakhouse. You can get Danger soup there, which is I told one guy, we asked what was in it, I said it's Danger. But Matsunaga's tag partner was none other than WCW mid-carder Jerry Flynn.
Ooh.
In his rookie year. He was trained by the Malenkos. He was a Taekwondo black belt, and they sent him to Japan. He winds up in the first barbed wire match in Japanese history.
That is fucking insane.
Wild.
As a rookie.
Yeah, imagine, how does that feel? You get off the plane. You're in the main event. Great. What is it? Barbed wire match. What?
I'm expendable. I
We're just
see.
gonna wrap a bunch of just barbed wire around the ring. Don't worry.
Yeah, I would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die tonight.
Gimmick barbed wire,
No
right?
one cares.
No.
Some guys have come close. If you ever get Masashi Takada, who actually wrestled at the Bloodsport in New Jersey, he almost died. It was a knife board.
Dude.
Yeah, horizontal, like knives like this, like horizontal. Cut his back open really bad.
Yeesh.
He has an adorable baby too. If you ever go on his Instagram page, he'll post photos sometimes.
Cute baby.
Worry for that baby.
Your dad almost died.
Speaking of, I think
He's a tough one. He fell in love with MMA and death matches in high school, and he actually fought pro MMA for several years, and then he started wrestling for Big Japan and does death matches now.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've got our future deathmatch star coming into the picture now.
Yeah, here he is.
he is up from his nap, so I gotta go.
All right, we'll call it a day now that I've actually monopolized 8 hours of your time.
Dude,
We
thank
had
you
such a
so
good
much.
time.
How dare
Thank
you.
Don't worry.
so much.
Oh,
So
you've been
glad I-
you've been
This
wonderful.
has been the best.